also save your life. Criminals posing as rideshare drivers have abducted or attacked unsuspecting passengers. Victims often fall for this trap by failing to verify the driver or the car before getting inside. It's very important that these incidents commonly occur in busy areas like airports, bars, or events where the passengers are distracted or in a rush. It is absolutely crucial that before entering any rideshare vehicle, be it an Uber or even a cab, that you always verify the number plate, the car model, and the driver photo that's provided on the app. Certain apps like Uber or Didi usually require this. You're usually given a code or a name that the driver may call out loud to verify that they are indeed the driver, or at least ask if you are the passenger that they're picking up. But it should be general knowledge and common sense that you always must step back and wait for the driver to identify you by asking, "Who are you picking up?" instead of volunteering your name first. Share your trip details to someone you trust through the app if possible. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, cancel the ride immediately and find a safer option. Staying alert could save your life. Stay safe. World scenario that can happen to anyone, including yourself, and this is how you can save your own life. You live with a charming and well-educated male flatmate who initially seemed like the best flatmate until something sinister unfolds. After a heated argument over you finding your house keys in his wallet, his mask slips, revealing a disturbingly deranged personality. Calm, yet menacing, he stares at you. He stares into your soul, smirking. And he tells you that he'll chop you up into pieces and then bury you in a desert. He describes in very disturbing detail what he'll do to you. He even pulls out his phone and shows you precisely where exactly he'll bury you on the map. We are talking coordinates, exact coordinates. His eyes tell you everything. This is not an idle threat. This is what you must do immediately to save your own life. Stay calm and avoid provocation. You must be very strategic and quick in how you act about this. This is not for the weak. Respond neutrally, as if you're brushing off a bad joke. Say something like, "Haha, you're weird, man. I need to get some fresh air." Remember to keep your tone light, as fear could escalate him. Create distance without rushing. Quickly, but casually, move towards an exit while keeping your movements calm. At all costs, avoid small spaces like kitchens and bathrooms. If you can, fake a reason to leave. Use an excuse to exit without alarming him. You must be very smart about this. Remember, this man is very well educated and could know if you're trying to set him up. Be very situational and strategic with how you do this. You could say something like, "Oh, I forgot my charger at a friend's place. Be right back." At all costs, leave that place immediately. If you fail to leave that area, all you can do is pray. However, if you do manage to get out of the flat, this is what you must do. Go to a public and safe location immediately. Do not stop running away until you arrive in a safe place. Once you've reached a safe place, you can then call the police. You want to make sure that you report the very specific threat he's made to you, and if you can, provide some evidence. Once you've done that, warn your loved ones immediately about him. Men who are like this usually seek vengeance by taking out some of your closest loved ones. Be sure to warn them before anything bad happens. It's always better to be hyper cautious, especially after he's just threatened to chop you up. You want to also make sure that you secure your living situation. Contact your landlord to change the lock immediately. Or to maximize your safety, you may want to consider breaking the lease for your own safety. Situations like these are extremely disturbing and distressing simply because of the uncertainty that leads after. You don't know if this man is completely sane while he's saying this, or he's just simply mentally disturbed. But whatever you do, you must keep yourself safe. Prioritize your safety. For long-term protection, seek a restraining order. Depending on what country you're in, be sure to seek the legal advice necessary to keep yourself safe from this man. You must be very quick to inform trusted neighbors and friends about the situation. They need to know this. You could be dealing with a serial killer. If a man confidently tells you exactly what he's gonna do to you, especially in the scenario where he tells you he'll chop you up, then proceeds to show a map of the exact location of your burial, you need to take this seriously. Always have the assumption in the back of your mind that he could have done this to other individuals, and that exact burial may very well be where he kept his other victims. It is much better to overthink in this scenario than not think at all. Situations like these should also serve as a reminder to carry a self-defense tool with you. Consider carrying a pepper spray or a safety alarm at least, and understand that you're never completely safe until this man is restrained. By staying calm, creating distance, and involving the authorities swiftly, you immediately increase your chances of survival and protection in this very dangerously real scenario. Never ever dismiss threats. Your safety is worth
Facts that will
every
save your life.
convenience.
Predators use online dating apps to stalk and ambush their victims. This should be common knowledge at this point. Some attackers do make fake profiles to gain trust, arrange meetings, and either follow their victims' homes or lure them into very isolated areas where they strike and attack. This tactic often preys on someone's vulnerability or exploits someone's excitement in meeting someone new. This is why it is so important that you always meet in a well-lit, populated, and well-public area on the first few dates. And also very importantly as well, tell a family member or trusted friend where you are. Share live location updates when possible. And you may want to consider familiarizing yourself with what fake profiles look like compared to real ones. If a profile seems way too good to be true, it definitely is. Do not and don't ever give out your home address, workplace, or personal details too early, no matter how trustworthy they seem. The overwhelming amount of cases of people going missing or being murdered over this should be enough to steer you away from doing so. Always remember to prioritize your safety over your politeness. Always trust your gut instincts. Stay safe. Here's some facts that will definitely save your life. Online scams are more real and are more dangerous than you think. Online scams are becoming even more increasingly sophisticated, fooling even the most savviest of internet users. Criminals often impersonate trusted institutions like banks, government agencies, or even friends or family members. These scams can take the form of urgent emails about account suspensions, lottery winnings, investment opportunities, or even requests for emergency financial help. Some scammers even use psychological tactics to create fear or urgency, pushing victims to act without thinking. Never ever click on links or open any attachments in unsolicited emails, especially those that seem urgent or suspicious. You want to always make sure that you always verify the legitimacy of the communication by contacting the company or the person directly through their official website or phone number, not the contact details as provided on the message. Be wary and always be very cautious with social media and text message scams as well. If it sounds too good to be true, it almost always is. Not to mention as well, with artificial intelligence becoming more dominant, this should all be common knowledge. Always guard your financial and personal information like a fortress, because once they're stolen, the consequences can be devastating. Stay alert and trust your instincts.
Extremely disturbing facts that will definitely save your life. Your babysitter may not be who they say they are. Child predators sometimes pose as babysitters or caregivers to gain access to children. These individuals even often go to great lengths just to appear trustworthy. They may have impressive references, a clean background, and a perfectly normal behavior. They know how to charm parents, appearing friendly and competent, which makes it extremely difficult to spot the potential danger. In many cases, they may even go through the motions of performing well at interviews or trial sessions, making it very easy for parents to overlook the red flags. But once in your home, they may exploit the trust you placed in them to harm your child. Words cannot express how important and crucial it is that you always check the references thoroughly before hiring a babysitter. Do not rely on just one source of information. At all costs, prioritize the safety of your child. Ask for multiple references or contact them directly to ensure their legitimacy. You may want to consider installing a nanny cam or security cameras in areas where you know that your child will be spending time with a sitter. This will give you peace of mind and allow you to monitor the situation discreetly. Never, ever leave your child alone with someone that you do not know well, even if they seem trustworthy or are highly recommended. It is always better to be overly cautious when it comes to your child's safety. Always. Always trust your gut instincts as a guardian and do not hesitate to reconsider a babysitter if something feels off. Stay safe.
Here's some facts to keep you safe and to save your life. There are many products in your home that are very much flammable and can be dangerous if you're not careful. Many household products that you use daily, including alcohol-based hand sanitizers, aerosol bug sprays, or cleaning agents, are extremely and highly flammable. If they're exposed to open flames, they can ignite and cause severe burns or dangerous fires. Even something as simple as spraying bug repellent near a campfire or lighting a candle after using hand sanitizer can have devastating consequences. Always use flammable products carefully and be sure to keep them away from heat sources like stoves, candles, or cigarettes. Be sure to let your hand sanitizer dry completely before approaching any flame or spark. And upon using any aerosol sprays, always maintain and ensure proper ventilation and keep them away from any ignition sources. Be sure to keep these products in cool, safe places, away from direct sunlight or heat. These are products that can be dangerous if you're not careful. Staying mindful of these everyday dangers can keep you safe and can protect you and your home from any accidental fires.
Will definitely save your life. Stay safe. Fake emergency calls can lead you into a trap. Some criminals make fake emergency calls to lure victims into very dangerous situations. They might pose as someone needing immediate help or a family member in distress, hoping to create a sense of urgency and panic. They may use past recordings of your loved one's voice or use AI to manipulate you. This is what makes cases like these so disturbing, because you do not know if that person is actually your loved one. The scammer may even use convincing tactics like impersonating a police officer or a trusted figure to manipulate the victim's emotions. Their goal is to get you panicked and act quickly without thinking. This would often lead you to an isolated or unsafe location where they can harm you. Always be sure to verify an emergency call before acting. If someone claims to be in urgent need, call the person directly from another phone line to check if their story is true. Or alternatively, ask for details only that real person would know. If something feels off or the phone call seems too suspicious, do not respond. Instead, what you should do is you must contact the proper authorities to confirm if there's any truth to the emergency. Always trust your gut instincts and never ever put yourself in harm's way based on an unsolicited or unexpected call. Stay safe. Facts don't save your life. If you are in a public place, no matter what time it is, and some stranger bumps into you causing you to drop something, do not instinctively bend down to retrieve the item. A predator might deliberately bump into you in a public place, causing you to drop your phone, your bag, or your wallet. The moment that you are distracted picking up your belongings, they strike, they rob you, they grab you, or worse. This tactic is designed to make you focus on retrieving your items, making you very vulnerable. I repeat, if a stranger bumps into you, do not bend down to retrieve the item. Instead, take a step back immediately. Regain your composure and take a moment to scan your surroundings. Be very quick to look for anyone scanning in on you or acting suspiciously. If you can, try to keep an eye on the stranger who just bumped into you. Chances are they're probably going to look behind as well. You want to make sure that you secure your valuables tightly, particularly your phone or your wallet, before retrieving anything. Some key tips to consider is that you may want to move to a well-lit and populated area before retrieving anything if possible. Always maintain a defensive posture and stay aware of any blind spots or exits. If something feels off or suspicious, leave immediately. Leave your items and prioritize your safety. If something feels off and wrong, it probably is. This simple pause and situational awareness can mean the difference between staying safe and becoming a target. They'll save your life.
During a crowd surge or an extreme stampede, the most common cause of death is actually asphyxiation due to extreme chest compression, not trampling. Those at the front of the surge are pressed against barriers and walls, unable to expand their lungs and succumbing within seconds. If you are ever in the presence of a stampede, always stay upright at all costs. Remember that falling can be very fatal in a surge. Use nearby people for balance if needed, but always remember to always keep your feet underneath you. Protect your chest. Keep your arms bent in front of your chest like a boxer to create a small pocket of space and to prevent crushing. Move diagonally. Instead of pushing against the flow, move diagonally towards the edges of the crowd. This path almost always offers the best chance of escaping the pressure. Avoid rigid barriers. Remember to always stay clear of walls, fences, and barricades where the force of the crowd can trap and crush you. And finally, in order to prevent being in such a scenario, always be aware of early signs. If the crowd ever feels tightly packed or movement is restricted, leave the area immediately if you can. A very critical tip to know as well is that you should always scan for exits upon entering a venue and always avoid being in the densest areas of a crowd, especially near barriers or center points where pressure converges. Stay safe. Advices that will definitely save your life. Kidnappers who are involved in human trafficking can sell victims into organized networks within less than 24 hours. These networks are often very highly coordinated, enabling them to move individuals across state lines or borders almost instantly, drastically reducing the chances of recovery. During this process, victims often lose access to their identification, communication tools, and their personal autonomy immediately. Language barriers, isolation, and psychological manipulation trap them in an environment where escape is nearly impossible. They are often forced into labor, exploitation, and other forms of abuse within these underground systems. Here's some life advice to protect you as much as you can from being in this situation. Communicate your plans. Always inform someone about your location, your destination, and expected time of arrival. And this person should be someone that you trust. And you may want to consider using live location sharing apps when traveling alone.
Be extremely cautious with rides, especially when traveling abroad. Never ever accept rides from strangers or even casual acquaintances unless you trust them implicitly. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, leave or seek help immediately. Pay very close attention to subtle red flags such as a stranger being overly friendly with you or someone insisting on isolating you. You must also avoid vulnerability. Keep your phone charged, and you may want to consider using a personal safety alarm. And stay very aware of your surroundings, particularly in unfamiliar places. These small but very proactive steps can significantly reduce your risk of being a target. Stay safe. If a live power line ever falls in your car or nearby, stepping out of the vehicle or touching your car door can cause instant electrocution and death due to the step voltage effect. How this happens is that electricity spreads through the ground and creates lethal voltage difference between your feet or between your body and the car. This is why it is so essential and crucial that you stay in your car in this scenario. If a power line falls on your car, the safest place is inside. Do not touch any metal part of the car, including the windows and the doors. Call for help immediately. Use your phone to call for emergency service and report your exact location, and be very sure to inform them about the power line. If you are in a scenario where you absolutely must leave the car, for example, in extreme cases when there's a fire inside the vehicle, always exit with extreme caution. This is what you must do. Jump out of the car without touching it and be very sure to land with both feet together. Once you've done that, slowly but surely shuffle away from the vehicle, keeping both feet on the ground until you're at least 30 to 50 feet away from the car. Do not lift your feet while moving to avoid voltage. If there are others nearby, warn them, do not let them near the area. Keep bystanders away until emergency responders confirm that the area is safe. A very critical note as well is that you should never ever assume that a downed power line is de-energized. It can very well be live even without visible sparks. Always treat it as dangerous. Stay safe. Definitely save your life. Most abductions occur near vehicles. Criminals often wait for their victims to let their guard down and unlock the car before attacking. Always check under your car, your back seat, and your surroundings before getting in. And you may want to consider carrying your keys in your hand to use as a weapon if necessary. A single dose of untreated rabies is 99.9% fatal after the symptoms start to appear. Rabies often incubate in your bodies for weeks or even months, giving no clear warning signs until it's too late. Once the symptoms start to appear, there is almost no chance of survival. If you are ever bitten or scratched by any mammal, be it a puppy or a bat, wash the wound immediately with soap and water. And you must seek medical attention for post-exposure prophylaxis, also known as PAP, immediately. Your stomach can actually burst if you try to power through vomiting after overeating or poisoning. Overeating or ingesting toxins can cause extreme pressure in the stomach. If you ever suppress vomiting in these cases, your stomach lining can rupture, which is life-threatening. This is why it is so important that if you ever feel intense stomach pain or bloating after overeating or ingesting something toxic, do not fight the urge to vomit. Instead, expel the contents safely and seek medical attention immediately. Stay safe.